My granddad was blind around 25 in the 1930s, and he soon went deaf afterwards. And I just think that he would just spend his days just thirsting for something to do. Braille wasn't commonly made back then, Braille books. So maybe it goes back to that kind of righteous feeling, like somebody should have done something for him. My name is Brian, and I am a sound designer and composer for video games. I think there's really an incredible breadth of opportunity for accessibility in games for blind people. This thing came up and it was called an audio game jam. So it was global, and it was done by a charity in the UK for people with blindness. And the games were all incredibly stigmatizing. One of them was like real life Frogger, where the only goal was to try to not get hit by a car, which is possibly, the worst part of any day for a blind person. It's like, we can do better than this. So I took that and I kind of started to learn an alternate route of game developing, and I said, I'm gonna make my own game, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to develop a game that succeeds where all these other games failed.
Can anyone hear me? Please, anyone. It's freezing and we are lost. We need help.
It's a game that is fully visual. You wouldn't know that it's made with people with blindness in mind. You play as a dog, and you're kind of thrust into this situation where you need to help find a boy that's lost while you're camping. I think the way that you learn the game has a kind of forced empathy to it. I didn't mean to achieve that, it just kind of happened. But it's one of those things that you realize that you're connecting with somebody that you kind of, in a way you never experienced before. This could be a game where you can have a sighted person and a blind person playing next to each other. They're doing the same thing, and they're doing it together at the same level. I think you'd have to find a way to make sure that your idea is good, is needed, but also be supported at the same time. I think you would also need to make sure that you have the skills and ability level, and you enjoy doing it. And I think the third one would be to attack it with everything you've got. I was lucky enough to have this group of people come out and say, what you're doing is needed, what you're doing is important. And I didn't experience anything like that before. I didn't have people telling me, keep going, finish, do it, we need you. This is one of those really rare times in life where you get to be the hero of your own story. You get to be the one that rights the wrongs, as opposed to waiting for somebody else to do it. People hear something and instantly react to it, and it affects us on the same level. I mean, if you think of like a horror movie, it's not music that you hear that makes you feel so tense, but it is really smart sound design. So I think the world generally doesn't pay attention to sound, and I like that kind of being a crusader to make them pay attention to it, if that makes sense.